what does forging your path look like from there?
Action. So a lot of the time, we love talking in theory and in concepts. So forging my own path looks like being very specific on my actions. So behind this camera right now, you'll see 2 whiteboards, and they have specific actions. There's a heart and a name of an organization to approach. Those are actions to take to share the possibility of the Rugare Gomo Leadership Academy. Action.
Yeah.
That's all there is. My experience with that action breeds momentum. So the more actions I take, the more I move forward. I cannot control outcomes. That's not my job. My job is to work on my actions. And I surrender the outcomes to the universe.
Yeah, and this is all part of the grand vision.
Absolutely. So, what's an example in your life, let's say, where you may be struggling with momentum at the moment?
I say content creation is where I think I struggle out of all the other aspects at the moment. And what I believe is the reason why is because I don't prioritize that for time.
Yes.
I don't have dedicated blocks of time in my week where, okay, this is the time where I'm going to create content. And now I have the podcast, which has been really great, producing more content consistently, but there still is no plan of, okay, this is what I need to do week by week or day by day to get to a place where now I'm thinking about destination. So that is where I think I am struggling.
I understand. And so you've identified these obstacles. So I don't have time. It's not in my schedule. It's not, as I haven't prioritized it.
Yeah.
So you've identified these obstacles, but that still hasn't led to necessarily the momentum you want.
Yeah. And
why do you think that is?
Well, I could say that time is pretty much almost every other person's excuse for not taking action. It's either time or money.
Yes.
So I think I don't value that time enough. Maybe because I am not maybe subconsciously seeing the result that I want because I'm so focused on destination.
Very good. And my suggestion, and this is a suggestion, and it's something we can explore together. Can I offer some coaching here?
Of course.
So,
just a quick announcement before we return to the podcast. If you're enjoying this episode of Midweek Motivation, you may be interested in checking out the Midweek Motivation newsletter, where every week I'll share with you a useful lesson on resilience, mindset, or fitness, or health in general, straight to your inbox. You also receive a free workout of the week, useful resources, and the latest videos that I've got up there. And just if you want to keep updated on my life, you'll find everything there. If you're interested in that, go ahead and hit the link in the description below, or go to Substack and search up Midweek Motivation. All right, let's return to the podcast.
So even though you've identified the obstacles, you haven't actually identified the fear.
Okay.
So consider that it has nothing to do with anything you have said.
Yeah.
But there's a fear.
Okay. And what do you think that fear be?
What do you think that could be?
I don't know if this is surface level or just that's deep. But I think producing content is still, I have to go way out of my comfort zone to share. And I mean, who the hell is going to listen to me?
Very good. Right there. That's already the beginning. So if we expand on that, you can start seeing that there's that fear. Who the hell is going to listen to me? What am I going to share?
Yeah.
So what's the fear if nobody's going to listen to you? What does that mean about you? Do you think?
I'm not sure. What comes to mind is wasting time. Because it's like, okay, if I'm doing this to help people, if no one's listening, I hate wasting time. So I could be spending my time elsewhere. That's one aspect. But I think there's another, and I can't really form that into words yet.
So right there is what's holding you back. So if we just look at wherever there's a lack of performance, I'll say that again, wherever there's a lack of performance, there's a fear. There's a fear of failure holding us back. If we can start just recognizing that it will save a lot of time for all of us to start bringing the momentum back. Because it doesn't matter if you put it in your schedule, until you deal with the fear, it's always going to hold you back. And it doesn't matter if you create your perfect plan, until you deal with the fear, you won't action the plan.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've got some words coming into mind now, and it seems really silly when I say it out loud, but it's just like maybe the fear of not being liked. And I know from I guess just being introverted, and maybe I don't say I'm in a difficult time in school, but I guess I would be easily offended if people who I thought are close to me maybe no longer want to spend time with me. I think that could be...
That's very powerful. Yes. So the fear of not being liked, like, many people who are listening will relate to that. And I relate to that. The fear of not being liked, as you read in my book, is what had me not send out proposals. So I was using my business, as a testing ground of if I'm going to be liked or not. So I would rarely send out proposals, because if somebody said no to one of my business proposals, I took it personally, like they didn't like me. I couldn't separate that it had nothing to do with me as a person versus what I'm offering.
Yeah.
And for us human beings, we're not very good at distinguishing that. We're not trained to distinguish things like that.
Yeah.
So hence a lot of my work is to help distinguish what's really going on. We're very chaotic in that regard. Once I got that, it's not appropriate for me to use my business to be liked. Because to be liked isn't part of my vision. It's not part of my business.
Yes.
That's not why I do what I do. I was then able to reclaim my power.
Yeah.
Because then I can still seek healthy validation through my inner circle.
Yeah.
So that's where the separation comes from.
Yes. It sounds like so silly when I say it like that, like fear not being liked. Yet I was using other excuses to kind of hide that or run away, like saying wasting time.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I hate wasting time on public transport to get to somewhere. I'd rather drive or just have it close by. So it's saying like I don't want to waste time producing content, but I use that as a way to kind of run away from what's
powerful. And what you just did, with us right now is so courageous and so vulnerable, because a lot of the time we're actually lying to ourselves. We think we're so smart living in reality. We're not. So once I got that, most of my time I'm not even dealing with what's real. It's my access to power.
Yeah.
And so now I'm able to say things like, I'm scared of people. I'm not talking to people because I want to be validated and loved by people.
Yeah.
And then I can see, well, that's not real. What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
That's when I have choice. So today you've now got choice. You can start really looking at, do you want to hold on to, being liked, using content to being liked? Or is content going to be for something else? And that's where we get to create a new story.
I like that.
Yeah.